Hey guys, welcome back to Star Signs. This month's sign is Sagittarius, which is what my grandmother is. Sagittarius. So let's see what how my grandma acts. Sagittarius, November 22nd to December 21st. Sagittarius, the archer, is a very analytical sign. Sagittarius make practically good researchers, doctors, biologists, botanists, and psychiatrists. You will find a tremendous number of psychiatrists under the sign. Most of the time you will find a Sagittarius going into some kind of work in the area of the mind. Even Sagittarians work as mechanics. They're still going to be very enamored with what happens within the mind of a person. So they're very prone to exploring others from a psychological perspective. Sagittarius, male or female, have an endearing quality whereby they constantly ask, am I alright? I'm alright, aren't I? I feel good, don't I? I'm having a good time, right? They constantly need to be validated, yet they're not a borderline personality. A lot of people will be thrown off by Sagittarians because they don't seem to have minds of their own. It turns out that they absolutely do, but they still want others to reinforce them. There again, that's what their whole mental process is like. You must constantly soothe Sagittarians. If there is any sign that is filled with anxiety, it seems to be this one, unless they're completely quieted down by air and water signs in their chart. Sagittarians will be very anxiety-ridden people, and I think that's because they work so much from their intellect. They will usually migrate towards somebody who says, shh, yeah, everything's just fine. Then they're fine and they can go on and analyze and do their own number, but every once in a while they have to touch home base. Sagittarians are tremendously quick-witted. They not only enjoy a joke, but they can tell one very well, and they have a highly developed sense of humor. Just as an aside, I think that people who do not like animals, children, music, or have no sense of humor are insane. I really do. Sagittarians write very well, but they're very wordy and a little bit boring. If you read anything by a Sagittarian's individual, you may say, would you please get to the point? They ramble on and on because they want to cover all bases. They even do this when speaking, but they're not completely as nitpicky as Capricorns, who want to tell you what suit they were wearing on what day of the week and how the weather was that day. If you ask them to repeat one word out of a book, they will repeat the entire book instead. Or if you want to find out about a movie, they will tell you the entire plot. Oh my god, I'm glad my grandma doesn't watch movies because I hate spoiler alerts. Sagittarius will explain and postulate on every side of a subject. Now if it happens this way, now if it happens that way, now in case it should turn around and go the other way. So they have all the bases covered. They don't want any loose ends. Watch Sagittarians buy something. They can have it fit around anybody they're buying a car or house from. They will go through everything with a fine-tooth comb. Well, what if the tires wear out? What if the carburetor doesn't work right? And pretty soon you're ready to just give it to them. Please just take it off my hands. Get out of here. It is usually very hard to drive a bargain with the Sagittarians, because you usually end up saying, just take it, I don't care. Often Sagittarians will be the kind of people who would come to a class and say, I'll pay you after I find out if I like it. This is typical behavior for them. Sagittarius is also a don't offend me sign, just as Libra is. Sagittarians are tremendous freedom lovers, and you never ever want to make them feel like they have to know freedom. Now, what is crazy about Sagittarians is that they'll stay in the house forever until you tell them they must leave. And then, boy, you've had it. But they'll stay forever in one singular place. As long as you do not put a time schedule on Sagittarians, they're fine. Now, what is unique about Sagittarius is if you happen to be a freedom-loving person involved with one, for some reason they become very possessive. If you turn around the other way and become possessive with a Sagittarius, this person will bone on you. It's weird. You never know what to do with them, whether you should be free and outgoing with them or be possessive. So you stand in front of Sagittarius individuals and ask them constantly, what do you want from me? It is never boring to be with Sagittarius, and I think what makes it all worthwhile is that they are so witty and so marvelous to be around, and that people usually migrate to them They always have a group of people congregating around them. Most Sagittarians do not come into full bloom until later in life. Many of the signs are like this, in fact, but this is especially true of Sagittarius. Sagittarians. Sagittarius is also a very, very faithful sign. These individuals do not love 3 people at once the way Virgos do, but they can switch loves very quickly, and they can change allegiances totally within a matter of weeks. They can be totally integrated in one family home and everything, and then completely move their whole household somewhere else and begin with another spouse and a whole different family. They will be sublimely happy and feel like they've been there forever. Sagittarians love children and are very concerned about them. And if anyone cries around Sagittarians, they will immediately melt. They will crumble. You don't want to cry around them because they'll get more upset than you are. They bark very ferociously, but drop one tear and they usually say, "I didn't mean it." Then 2 hours later, they'll tell you what they thought about it, and when a stranger comes up crying, it upsets them terribly. It is a unique quality about them. They won't get as upset with somebody crying within their own family as they will with a stranger. Sagittarians will do everything for someone else. Clean their house, scrub their floors, while their own floors can go to pot. So they're truly magnanimous as far as helping people on the outside. And it truly is this sign about which others will say, "Well, why doesn't charity begin at home?" Sagittarians don't want you to talk about that. Sagittarians, like Scorpios, can be quite vindictive. Most of the signs can be, but these 2 signs are spiteful to the extreme. They are the kind of people who will say to you, "I haven't spoken to my mother or sister for 20 years, and I don't care to." You ask them if they feel bad about this, and they'll say no. They'll say it to you in words like this: "They committed a mortal sin. They interfered in my life. So if anyone close to them really interferes, really judges them, they can erase them from their lives, and they don't seem to carry any guilt about it." That person no longer exists for Sagittarians. No way can you try to make peace for them. If you try to have a little dinner and all of a sudden the sister shows up, the Sagittarian will walk out the door. They have no qualms about being rude on that score at all. There is no way of wielding the situation together. Sagittarians are very blunt. If you visit them at home too late, they'll say, "I'm sorry, I have to go to bed." My grandma was very blunt. Then they'll walk into the other room. These are the types of people about whom you might say they're truthful to a fault, and then you go, "Oh," when they put their truths in motion. But it's funny, these Sagittarians don't understand why people always seem to feel so wondered around them. Fortunately, you'll have no room for a retort, because you know that what they've said is the truth. But you say, "Did you have to say it that way?" And they'll reply, "If the truth hurts, too bad." Or, "Well, you all know it's true," and they'll watch you bleed. But they'll also try to bandage the hurt right away because they're so sorry about hurting you. Sagittarians mean nothing by it. Full-blown Sagittarians can get away with saying things that others cannot. You can walk up to the exact same person, say the same thing the Sagittarians do, and they'll punch you right in the nose. Sagittarians say it with a smile on their face, and people say, "Okay." But another sign will try to go up and mimic a Sagittarius and get stabbed to death. People are so enamored by Sagittarians' charm and their beautiful ways that they don't really know that they've gotten it real good until maybe days later people say, "What the hell did they mean by that?" It's not uncommon to walk up to a Sagittarius, be totally whittled down, and then say "thank you" when you walk away. You may think, "I was bad." Yeah, but it sounds so beautiful when they said it. A man who came to my office one day was a Sagittarius. He said, "I don't know what I expected, but you're not it." I said, "Oh, thank you." About 2 days later, I thought about it and went, that is what Sagittarians do. You can go 4 or 5 ways with whatever they say, and constantly saying to Sagittarians, "What did you mean by that?" And they think you ought to know. Sagittarians have such a total intellectual approach to everything that they just assail you. Even their sex life is very intellectualized. This is also the sign that gets drunk on words. Sagittarians just overflow with words, beautiful ones. Everything sounds melodious, and it flows together very well. Physical characteristics. Sagittarians usually have either reddish hair or the complexion of a redhead. Check on grandma. They're usually ruddy complected people that have a full mane of hair. If they're male, even though they may be going bald, they will have big tufts of hair around the sides. It seems they have hair all over them everywhere. Sagittarians tend to be very farsighted or nearsighted, and they almost always have an astigmatism. They tend to have problems on the lower back area, and most of the time they come into life with a curvature of the spine that they're very swayed back. Sagittarians are usually tall people, very long limbs with short trunks. I take on the Sagittarian next break. I have legs clear up to my armpits, all legs. Brave lady person myself. They usually have small hands regardless of their stature. Sagittarians have very petite, dainty hands, and the nail beds do not go very deep. Usually Sagittarians are large structured people. Even if they're slender, they will have a large bone structure and are very angular. They're also have very luminescent, shiny eyes. If you've ever seen Andy Williams, I'm certain that there's a Sagittarius somewhere in his chart, because his eyes always shine as if they have drops in them. Okay guys, that's it for Sagittarius. Next month we will be doing Capricorn, and that'll be the end of the star signs. Yes, I know. I talk way too much.